Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached 4 o'clock. Please welcome to the Market Cross the whole cavalcade of riders from all over Scotland, led by the Edinburgh captain, Robert Houston. With him is the Edinburgh Lass for 2024, Christy Simon. In support is the 2023 captain and Lass, G Sturgeon and Abby McDowell. Behind the principals are 4 troopers from Scotland's Cavalry Regiment, the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, now based at Lookers, wearing their full ceremonial uniform. Also accompanying them on horseback, the Right Honourable Lord Provost of the City of Edinburgh, Robert Aldridge. Lord Provost Consort for the City of Edinburgh, Colin Cunningham. Councillor Cammy Day, who is the leader of Edinburgh Council, Norma Cuthbertson, and Major Stuart Vine from the Scottish and Northern Irish Yeomanry. And we also have several representatives from the 29 towns around Scotland, and they include Pennycoots, Hunter and Lass, Joss Melrose and Vicky Lyon, West Linton's Whitman and Lass, Tanny Gill and Jill Gill, the Lanark Lord Cornet, Kevin McNally, the Bigger Cornet, Craig McDowell, the Peebles Cornet and Lass, Reuben Sterricks and Rihanna Sterricks, the Yetum Baragaji and Baramanishi, Rosie Robson and Fraser Oliver, the Dumfries Cornet's Lass, Kirsty Johnston, the Lockerbie Cornet and Lass, Kieran Patterson and Amy Kennedy, the 2023 Jeddah Callant, Will Wardrop, the Kilsoladi, Jack Forsyth. And I can see down there as well representatives from other border towns, including Berwick-upon-Tweed, the first to hold their annual riding of the marches at the beginning of May.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Citizens of Edinburgh, Lord Dean of Guild, Convener of Trades, visiting principal riders, visitors from the many riding towns of Scotland, and those from further afield. It's with great pleasure that today I welcome the captain of the trained bands and his followers to the Market Cross in the heart of the Old Town on the day of the 2024 Riding of the Marches. The first record of an inspection of Edinburgh's common land was in 1579. Since then, the city has expanded and much of the common land has been lost. In these ancient times, when the horse was the only mode of transport, the captain would mount up and lead my predecessor and burgesses at the time out beyond the Flodden wall to inspect the common land. In these times, mounted messengers were also accustomed to bringing tidings to the city of war and of peace. In 1946, Treasurer Murray, acting as captain at the head of the Riding of the Marches, ceremonially brought news of the end of the Second World War. We remember with sensitivity the ultimate sacrifice that so many people made during this war and many before it. So I now ask that we observe 1 minute silence for the fallen of all wars and for absent friends. Thank you.
Thank you. what I mean? Be like, oh, listen, you might not eat the croissant or whatever. You know what I mean?
My Lord Provost, citizens of Edinburgh, visiting principals and guests, on 8th September 2024, in the presence of the Edinburgh Lass, I inspected the Flodden wall boundary of our ancient town from Netherbow to Westport and found it to be intact. Today, Sunday 15th September 2024, with these riders as witnesses, I rode the marches of our capital city to the southernmost point at the Drum, where the City of Edinburgh banner was bussed at the former home of this, our Market Cross. It is with great honour that I report to you that the citizens of Edinburgh are in good heart and the Edinburgh marches are clear. My Lord Provost, I now have the pleasure in returning to your safekeeping the City of Edinburgh banner in the condition I received it, unsullied and unstained.
One week ago today, I charged you to inspect the boundaries of our capital city and return this banner to me, unsullied and unstained. I congratulate you and your lass on carrying out your duties so effectively. And could we now hear 3 cheers for the lad and lass? Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!